Hey, everybody. Okay, so we're ready for chapter two. Yesterday we listened to chapter one about Ravi's first encounters on the first day of school in fifth grade, and he didn't have a good day. So now we're hearing from Joe, who's another boy in the class. Joe, my name is Joe, but that's not what most people call me. Not at Einstein, anyway. I've never been a big fan of school, except for lunch. Eating is the one thing I'm really good at. I've always been tall for my age, but lately I've been growing so fast. My clothes don't fit anymore, even the ones we bought a few weeks ago. And I'm always hungry. Look at the cover here. And I'm always hungry. A lot of kids wouldn't be caught dead eating school lunch. They call it mystery meat, slop, but I don't mind. Every week it shows up in the same order: chicken fingers, hamburgers, chili, macaroni and cheese, and pizza. By the way, it's not a coincidence that Tuesday is Burger Day and Wednesday is Chili Day, because at Einstein, the hamburgers get recycled. It's not as bad as it sounds, but the leftover burgers from Tuesday get dumped into a big pot of beans and some other junk, and presto changeo, Wednesday, chili. Everybody knows I don't talk much at school. My best friends, Evan and Ethan, used to call me Blabbermouth as a joke. But I guess I'm not going to be hearing that much now since they both moved away over the summer. To be honest, they were a little weird, but I'm going to miss them anyway. Evan, Ethan, and I ate lunch together every day last year, and they had to go to the resource room for extra help, same as me. Not that we had the same problems, for one thing, they were both super hyper, and I'm not. This year, I have to go by myself to see Mrs. Frost, and I'm not sure who I'm going to eat lunch with. Probably nobody. People think you're unfriendly if you don't talk to them, but they don't understand that it's a problem for me that it's so noisy in the cafeteria. My brain and noise don't get along together. Last year, I had Mr. Barnes for my teacher. Mr. Barnes is epic. He can bounce a hacky sack off of his knee 100 times without messing up. I had never even heard of a hacky sack until Mr. Barnes brought it to school. It was pink, which Dylan Samreen thought was hilarious. He said something mean about it behind Mr. Barnes's back, and the girls laughed. Sometimes I wonder what's wrong with girls, but then I remember I already know what's wrong with girls. Everything. Mr. Barnes is African American. He shaves his head, wears bow ties, real ones that you have to tie yourself. He must have talked to Miss Frost about me, because he never asked me to read out loud in front of the class or to come up to the board to do math problems. He understood those things are hard for kids like me. Some people don't mind having everybody look at them. Dylan Samreen, for instance, he wears his pants pulled down really low with his underwear sticking out at the top. He wants people to see it. His boxers have dollar signs on them, or dice, or lobsters, and he has special ones for holidays too, with candy corn or Christmas trees or red hearts for Valentine's Day. Dylan is famous for his boxers, but his real claim to fame is his tongue, which is long and pointy like the devil. When he sticks it out, it makes the girls scream. He thinks he's the smartest kid at Einstein, and he might be right. He's definitely the meanest. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to be Dylan Samreen, but that is something I will never know. Mr. Barnes was the first teacher I ever had who liked me. Miss Frost likes me, but she likes everybody, so that doesn't count. On my final report card, Mr. Barnes wrote that I was a valuable member of the community. Mom was so proud she stuck it on the fridge with a magnet. It's still there. Today is the first day of school, and Mr. Barnes is the first person I run into when I get here. He's wearing a red bow tie with little blue whales on it. I'm pretty sure it's new, or at least I've never seen it before. Last year, Mr. Barnes had 17 different bow ties that he always wore in the same order, starting with the green one with the white diamonds and ending with the orange and purple striped one. Mr. Barnes' bow ties were another one of my favorite sequences. Yo, Joe, he says, how's it feel to be a fifth grader? Good, I tell him, at least so far. Maybe this year will be different, I think. Maybe Dylan Samreen won't be in my class. But when I get to room 506, there he is, standing over by the windows with his underwear hanging out, polka dots. Lucy Mulligan and a bunch of her annoying girlfriends are standing around him chanting, "Do it, do it, do it." They want him to stick out his tongue, but Dylan won't do it. "Come on, Samreen, let's give them what they want," Tom Dinkins shouts before sticking out his own tongue and wagging it at the girls. Tom Dinkins is a Dylan Samreen wannabe. The girls don't care about his tongue. "I warn you," Dylan tells his fan club, "I think it grew a little over the summer." Lucy and her friends start jumping up and down, screaming, "Ew!" One thing I will say about Dylan Samreen, he really knows how to play a crowd. All the screaming starts to get to me, so I do it in a 2, 3. So I do the in 2, 3, out 2, 3, breathing that Mrs. Frost taught me. If that doesn't work, I'll have to use my earplugs. I always keep a pair in my pocket just in case. They come in different colors, but I like the tan ones the best because they don't show as much. They're made out of some kind of a squishy foam rubber, and when I wear them, I can still hear people talking, only it's softer, like when you're underwater or you have a pillow over your head. I'm allowed to wear my earplugs in school whenever I want, but mostly I use them in the cafeteria or the playground and in gym class. I guess those are the noisy places he doesn't like. "Settle down and take your seats," announces Mrs. Beam, my new teacher. This is her first year teaching at Einstein. She looks a lot younger than any of the other teachers I've had. She's shaped kind of funny, wider on the bottom than the top, and she's shorter than me, which is weird considering she's my teacher. She seems nervous, and there's something freaky about her eyebrow. At Einstein, the kids have to sit in alphabetical order. Every year since kindergarten, my seat has been right behind Dylan's. I know the back of his head by heart. Mrs. Beam has made name cards for us and puts them on the desks, but when I go to get my seat behind Dylan, somebody's sitting in it. He's a shrimpy-looking kid with thick glasses, greased-down black hair parted on the side. I've never seen him before, and I don't know where he's from. His skin is darker than mine, but not as dark as Dylan's or Caleb Burrell's. When I look at the card sitting on his desk, I see a name about a mile long filled with Y's and A's. He seems kind of nervous too. He keeps rubbing his nose and looking down at his hands, which are folded in his lap, like he's at church or something. His shirt is so white, it hurts my eyes to look at it. And he's got it tucked in and buttoned up all the way to the top. When Mrs. Beam asks him to tell the class about himself, he stands up like he's in the army and calls her ma'am, which is about the only word I understood, which is about the only word he says that I can actually understand. Everybody starts laughing. And for a minute, I think, hey, maybe 5th grade isn't going to be that bad after all. Maybe Dylan Samreen will decide to pick on this new kid with the weird name and the funny accent instead of me.